What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into What's Your Take, presented by the Sports Forum. This is the Dallas Cowboys 2025 schedule and overall team preview. I got two guys with me today. First off, Mr. Thunder, my man. Before we even jump in, I got to ask you, or I got to mention, this guy right here is a Cowboys fan. He wasn't too thrilled about the Giants predictions. You ready to get after it today?
Yes. I could save us a bunch of time and just say 17-0, let's go home.
With us is another guy here, and this man was with me on the Giants show, and we both had a few things to say about those Giants. So anyway, moving on through here, guys, Riggs, Tamburo, Thunder, and Kenton, we are jumping into week number 1. Looking at this man right here, Dak Prescott, the guy, the man, the myth, whatever you want to call him. I call him the overrated, overpaid quarterback, but it is what it is. That said, I do want to jump straight into week 1, and then we'll talk about our thoughts on Dak Prescott. Looking here at the Philadelphia Eagles, this one Thursday night football, September 4th, obviously right here on NBC and Peacock, 8:20 p.m. Eastern to open up the season in Philadelphia. Thunder, you can't be much of an Eagles fan, and it must have been just a little bit painful to watch them take down the Super Bowl last year. How's this one going to go here? Could they shock everybody and take down the champs in week 1?
So, do I feel like they could? The potential is there in my mind. The potential is there, especially considering Eagles, they've lost Kellen Moore. They no longer have him like calling plays. They've had significant loss on defense as well. Like their line is taking a pretty good hit. Plus, they get off to shaky starts too. I mean, they got off to a shaky start last year as well. But that O-line is still freaking amazing. You still got Saquon back there. The Cowboys' run defense should hopefully be improved. I know they've made some improvements on or added some new people to hopefully improve it. But still, there's still that O-line, still Saquon back there being absolutely amazing. I would like to believe the Cowboys are going to win this, but most likely starting off the year with an L. Especially Philly's probably going to be hyped. They're raising the banner. So I will say might be Cowboys most likely starting off with an L.
Kenton, Thunder mentions here about the whole banner ceremony and all the stuff that goes down pregame. You know, the Cowboys are going to be kind of sitting in the locker room, just waiting, getting antsy, getting ready. On the other side, you got the Eagles getting all emotional, family, friends, fans are going to be out there. Is there any world here where the Eagles might come out a little bit slow, get punched in the mouth early, and they could just go ahead and slip one by here and catch a really early, surprising L to start the year?
I mean, the potential sure is there. As Thunder said, they have a history of getting off to a slow start. But with that being said, I personally do not see that happening. I think the Eagles, they've had a very well-rounded team last season. We'll see how their defense is affected by their losses, but that doesn't change the fact that their offense, I mean, is pretty stacked. They got a very nice wide receiver room, and they got Saquon Barkley as running back with that O-line as well. I just don't think the Cowboys are equipped enough to deal with that. So I'm going to agree with Thunder here, and I'm going to say that the Cowboys start with an L in week 1.
Well, if you guys know anything about me, there's no way I'm breaking this little run we got going here. It is 0-1 for the Dallas Cowboys. No world in any world do I take the Dallas Cowboys on the road in a week 1 game in Philadelphia. It just doesn't happen for me. So I'm not going to add anything other than Dak Prescott yet again gets exposed here. I'm going to go 2 picks, 167 yards passing, maybe a fumble, and dare I say it, I got the Eagles here in a double-digit win. So should be a fun one here in Philadelphia to kick things off. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. But Dak Prescott, he's just not that dude. Jalen Hurts, I don't know how in the world they're going to stop Jalen Hurts and company here. So they might stop him for a quarter. They might stop him for 2. But in the second half, this thing's going to start to get ugly. Anyway, though.
A really nice record against them, but okay.
Okay, let's just recall that we're talking about the guy that had bottom 5 in stats last year in quarterback rating and also takes way too much money. And I could go all day, but I don't have all day. So
I will admit, I don't think he's worth like as much as they're paying him, but I digress.
He's not worth 2/3 of what they're paying him. Okay. But anyway, moving on through here. This is the game, Thunder, that you had a big time problem with us in the Giants show here. This one at home to open things up in Dallas, week number 2. The New York Giants and Russell Wilson come to town. You guys, I might hate on Dak, but am I going to say Russell Wilson's better? I don't know. We'll find out here in just a second. But Kenton, let's start with you, my man. Looking here, you took the Giants to pull the upset over the Cowboys in week number 2. Why'd you do that?
Well, I mean, for one thing, the Giants have a good passing defense, and I mean, I don't think the Cowboys can really overcome that. And on top of that, the Cowboys have no run game. The one, as I mentioned in the Giants show, one of the biggest weakness in the Giants is their run defense. That is something that I would hope that the Cowboys would be able to take advantage of, but they just can't. They got Javonte Williams now, sure, who's decent. As a Broncos fan, he's okay, but he is not
can be good.
Yeah, he can be good. He's had some decent games. I mean, he had that one game against the Saints, but with that being said, it's the Saints. So, exactly. I mean, I don't really see that running back room doing anything against the lack of a run defense for a start. And then with that pass defense, I think that they have the potential to maybe shut down CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Really, I just see it as an upset. My gut tells me that it's going to be an upset. With that being said, I wouldn't close off the possibility of a Cowboys win here nonetheless. I do know that it's a controversial take. Nonetheless, I stand by what I said. Giants are going to get the W in this week.
Thunder, my man, he mentions Javonte Williams. Then we got guys out here like George Pickens also adding to this team. Week number 2, you get that first week jitters out. You get that nice little break of a 10-day break here between games, and you get to stay at home. Tell me why Russell Wilson is not walking out of Dallas with a dub.
I'm just saying. So I understand they got people to take out like CD and Pickens, but I get that feeling that this could be a very Fergalicious game. Okay, my boy Jake Ferguson could be coming out on top here.
Wow.
And like with Kenton's, like I feel you. I respect your decision, but at some point too, during watching that video, I was like, oh come on, the press got to be ridiculous here.
Oh my Lord.
That was pretty good, right? That one was pretty good, right? But anyway,
that one was pretty good.
But yes, like at the end of the day, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, it's also still the Giants. On paper, everything looks nice, but we still don't know how things are going to be meshing with them. It's week 2, Russ and all that. Maybe Jameis, maybe famous Jameis could be making some waves in there too. We don't know. And as far as like run games too, I'm not entirely convinced on the Giants' new run game. Like Scatterboo, I understand, pretty good. But I don't know. I'm not there yet. Not completely sold on everything else that the Giants have that could potentially get them over. So I just see you got Fergalicious coming out, helping with the win, helping picking stuff up. And then you got Brandon Aubrey as well. Could be a Fergalicious and an Aubrey game. That's how I'm feeling. Wow. That's just how I'm feeling. Getting the W against the Giants. Just because.
But not a Dak Prescott game.
Maybe not a Dak. Maybe not a Dak. I'm going to go more to Fergalicious being the one here.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, first of all, if I have to hear you say Fergalicious again, I might have to log out of here because that just hurts me deep down. However, I will say, I think you're right that a big-time player like him is going to step up here big in this game. I also do believe Brandon Aubrey is going to be incredibly important, as you mentioned. The Giants' defense, we've talked about it before. Yes, the pass defense is a bit suspect, but the overall defense is better than people give it credit for. Mm-hmm. And they can at least keep them in this game. It's one of those weird games, right, where it should either come down to a Brandon Aubrey field goal or this is like 38-13. Cowboys murder them. Depending how upset they are after they get smacked by Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's kind of what this one comes down to. This is a really tough one for me. And Kenton, I really want to join you, my man. And when the season rolls around, I believe I'm going to take the spread in this game. But I'm going to go ahead and give Dak one. Thunder, if he burns my parlay, we're going to have a serious problem on Monday Night Football show, week number 2, when we review what happened on Sunday, and I lose my mind. So anyway, 1-1 for me, 1-1 for Thunder. Oh, I'll probably see you there. And Kenton saying 0-2 for the Cowboys to go ahead and kick things off to start this season. Then You move on through here to week number 3, a relatively decent football game that I'm looking forward to, man. Week 3, you're at the Chicago Bears. You're in that mid window, the 4:25 p.m. Eastern time. Caleb Williams and company expected to improve this year. People thought it would be last year. They kind of fall a bit short. They're picked again for around that 9-win playoff push kind of thing. Thunder, looking here, my man. Caleb Williams, I know you kind of defended him just a little bit in our last show, so help me out here.
Yeah,
Caleb Williams at home, Dak on the road. Which quarterback is more trustworthy?
Again, I don't want to. I'm trying my best not to sound too biased here, but I'm going with Dak on this just because of the fact that, like, the Bears defense, I feel a defense could keep them in this, but the Bears, and I know they revamped their O-line a little bit too to make it a little bit better, which they definitely needed because Caleb got absolutely wrecked last season. I'm still not too, like, until we see how the O-line performs, I'm kind of like, I kind of get like John Madden on this, where it's like the O-line and the D-line, that's where the football happens. That's where the games are won or lost. And I just feel the O-line may not stand up for the Bears. So Cowboys is going to come away with the dub in Chicago. Like, the cold's not going to be mine. I don't even know how cold it's going to be then, but still, like, I don't think the Bears are going to get this. Not going to happen.
It'll be a little bit more humid than cold, but I'm right there with you. Kenton, I got to ask you, my brother, 0-3? Question mark?
No, actually. Thunder will be pleased to hear that I agree with him on this one. I think I'm going to take Dak on this one. I think Caleb Williams was, not going to lie, a major disappointment last year, and I'm not really expecting too much from him this season either. And that's on top of the fact that, I mean, besides DeAndre Swift, who we've seen, honestly, a decline in efficiency.
Yep.
They don't really have much in terms of running back. Their receiver depth could use some help. You know, I don't think DJ Moore and Rome Odunze is going to get the work done for this team. And yeah, overall, I think this is where the Cowboys get their first win of the season.
Very interesting. So you have some concerns with the wide receiver room and potential running back room in Chicago.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Maybe I've just been personally too burnt by them playing fantasy football.
That's fair.
I mean, they just have, in my opinion, they just have not really lived up to what they're hyped up to be. I'm not saying they're the worst, you know, I'm not completely dog on them, but I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Okay. Well, then I guess I have to break it here, gentlemen. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears and wait till we do the Bears preview because, folks, if you think I'm a Caleb Williams guy, you are very, very incorrect. However, I don't trust Dak Prescott already. And you're going to put his ass on the road? Bro, I'm not doing that, dog. Once again, kind of like New York, that Bears defense, a little bit better than they get credit for. I do believe the offense is going to be better this season. Like you mentioned, Thunder, the line was horrendous. They did make a few moves. They had a pretty decent draft, decent offseason. Is it as good as it needs to be? Probably not. But is it better? The answer is yes. Is Caleb going to be more comfortable? Yes. And Kenton, I got to be honest, man. I kind of disagree with you on the weapons thing. They are potentially kind of like the Texans, where it's like, well, they're one bad injury from being in trouble. But I think at this point in the season, week 3, I think they're healthy. I think they're good. I'm going to rock with the Bears in some ugly 24-23 kind of win. I just think that Dallas kind of has it and they let one go. So 1-2 for me so far, 1-2 for Kenton so far, and 2-1 for Thunder so far. Moving on through, gentlemen, week 4, staying pretty consistent here with these Sunday games right now for Dallas. You are at home against the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love and company, Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a really fun game. I'm looking forward to it. Now, I got to ask you guys, looking here at Jordan Love, are you a believer in Jordan Love and the Packers? Will this be a better year than last year? Or, like I've seen in the media, a lot of people thinking this is kind of like a weird fallback spot for the Packers this season. So, Thunder, my man, are you buying in on Jordan Love and the Packers, or do you think that, kind of like I said, could be a step back?
I mean, I got faith in Jordan Love, okay? I actually like Jordan Love. I've picked him in fantasy every single year that he's been in this. Plus, like the Packers, they're just pretty dang stacked, man. You got Josh Jacobs, you got Watson and all their other receivers and all that. You got the tight ends that just so crafty. And like the offense is just tremendous. The offense is there. The defense may have taken a few hits. Like you got no longer got Jair Alexander. It's pretty young defense too. So there could be potential for some shakiness there. But it's the freaking Packers, man. Especially when you're talking about Packers with the Cowboys, you think Aaron Rodgers leaving might finally give them some hope, but then they come into the playoffs on Jerry World and just absolutely roll over them. Man, especially at home too. There's basically no at-home advantage when it comes to the Cowboys facing the Packers. That building might as well be the cheese building from the second Kim Possible episode. That I don't think.
Where do you get these? Where do you get these references? I gotta ask you.
I'm nerdy like that, bro. I got great.
I got great
memories for this stuff. But yes, so sadly, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's getting 2-2 on them with the Cowboys taking an L to Jordan Love. Not really loving that, but still, that's where I gotta put it. The Packers are just scary like that.
Can you give me a score prediction here in this one going down in Dallas?
The score prediction. I would like it to be close. I could also potentially seeing it not being close, but to be all fair, I will go with I will go with 30-27.
Okay, so close one. All right, so you're giving your boys a shot. Yes. Kenton, where are you at, my man? Are you with Thunder on the Packers here? And if so, what is that score prediction?
I am with Thunder here. I will say my score prediction is not as close. I would say probably I'm thinking maybe 28-10 in favor of the Packers here. But yeah, I agree with Thunder here about how stacked the Packers seem to be. And then there's also, again, that history. They have met in the playoffs before, and the Packers, they handled their business there. I really do not see the Cowboys coming away with a win this one. And I also liked how Thunder brought up the lack of a home advantage. I think it is well known that the Cowboys Stadium has some flaws there, and we heard a lot about that last season too. I mean, with just the sun getting into the receiver's eyes for one thing, that is a huge issue. So yeah, I mean, I don't see it going in the Cowboys' favor here.
Okay. Well. Here I was thinking we were going to have a war over this one, and this seems pretty darn easy. I am a Jordan Love guy. I am a massive Josh Jacobs guy, and I do believe this is another big game for both of those gentlemen. Yes, they're an outdoor team, but I only think it helps them to move indoor. I don't see how it hurts them per se. In Green Bay, I think this would be a slam on the Green Bay Packers. And you know what's funny? I kind of think the Cowboys are going to come in here like a 2.5-point favorite, to be completely honest. I don't think Green Bay is going to be the favorite when this thing comes around, which is going to be a mistake by the sports books if that's what happens, because you guys are correct. This is a Packers win, so we are all together here on this one. No need to overthink it. This man right here, Mr. Jordan Love, going to handle business. Cowboys dropping yet another Thunder. Isn't this fun? All right. Anyway, moving on through here to week number 5, Sunday, October 5th. This one going down in New York at the New York Jets, a new look Jets team a little bit here. We got Justin Fields taking the mound here for the New York Jets. Obviously, Garrett Wilson didn't go anywhere. There was a big question mark in the offseason. What will happen to him? The Jets act like, talk like, narrative is that they're going to take a step forward this season. Aaron Rodgers broke them. It wasn't the rest of the team. So that said here, Thunder, my man, looking at this, are you a believer in Justin Fields, and do you think he's going to give your boys a tough time in New York? You're on mute.
Yeah. Okay. So I like Justin Fields. I think he's got potential there. For this game, I'm just not too sold on the offense just yet. Like besides for Oh, what's his name? I'm blanking on the name. Give me a second. Hang on. I hate having to actually look down on this right now. But
So we got a schedule for. It's all good.
yeah. But yeah, like the offense is pretty good, especially the run game, but they really only have like one consistent receiver right now. And the O-line, again, should be, hopefully they improved on that, but I'm still not quite there. Again, I think the defense could possibly keep them in this, but I think the Cowboys are going to yet again go into a New York arena and come out on top with a win against a New York team, against in the same stadium that they always own the other team at. So I think Fields definitely has improved, like definitely has potential. I like him. I hope he does good. Ever since he left the Bears, I've been hopeful for him. But I just don't see the Jets coming out on top on this one, man. You got anything to add to that, Kenton? To contradict me?
I'm not going to contradict you here. Look, I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of the Cowboys. I'm not a fan of Dak Prescott. But I do not think that they're so bad that they lose to the Jets. Let's be honest here. They say Aaron Rodgers broke the Jets. To that, I say you can't break what's already broken. They are consistently a team that are just out of it. They have a strong defense. I give them that. They have a very strong defense. There have been games where they have held teams to very little points. But their biggest problem is that their offense just does not produce. Over and over again, we see that offense fail to produce. And I don't think, for starters, Justin Fields is going to be a game-changing quarterback for them. I mean, really, I think the defense of it's the Jets is enough to say that the Cowboys win this one.
Is it?
I would say so.
Because you got to, here. Look, guys, this is a tough one because I think every single thing you guys are saying is valid. And I also honestly kind of think it's all correct. That said, I'm going against you here. I kind of think Justin Fields at this point is starting to get comfortable in New York. I think they're kind of buying in on him. I think the scheme's starting to work a little bit. If they met them in week 1 or week 2, I would have to go Cowboys here. Or if this game was in Dallas, I would have to go Cowboys here. I just think of all the spots for the Jets this year to beat a team that they're not supposed to beat, it's a really, really good spot for them. So I think this is one where everybody's starting to kind of get that Cowboys are desperate. They're not playing well, blah, blah, blah. The narrative in the media becomes, if they lose this one, Thunder, it's not your year. I know every year is your year. It's not your year, dog. You're going down. Justin Fields puts on, dare I say, a masterclass in this game here. I'm going to go Justin Fields' best game of the year thus far is in week 5 against the Cowboys. Give me the Jets. Jets to get this one done. Sorry, guys. I had to do it. I'm going to regret that one when week 5 comes around. But for now, I like my pick. Moving on through here. On the road, week 6 again in Carolina this time. Nice and early game. Kind of a tough travel spot here for Dallas as well. First, you go to New York. You come all the way back. You get right back on it, and you go to Carolina this time. And obviously, it is in that early window. Kenton, in your opinion here, man, even though they say Bryce Young's taken a step forward this year, is it a step forward enough to take down the Dallas Cowboys?
Honestly, I want to have faith in Bryce Young. I am a big sucker for underdog stories. He came into the league, he underperformed, and then he underperformed again, and then he continued to underperform. But at the tail end of last season, he started to show some competency, So
yeah, he did.
I would like to hope that this next season he can start building upon that and get some wins for the Panthers. But with that being said, I do not think that's what's actually going to happen. I think the Panthers are going to probably stay at around the same level that they were last season. I mean, for starters, that defense, horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Dare I say the worst in the league. And yeah, I do not see them coming away with a win here. I think this is an easy Cowboys W. Dare I say 21-3.
Well, it better be an easy one, because if it's not, there's going to be a problem. with them Dallas Cowboys fans. And if I was a Cowboys fan, which thank God I'm not, I would lose my mind. If this is even close, I would not be very happy about it. But that said, Thunder, we did watch Carolina last year pull off a couple of good upsets, cover a lot of spreads. Like Kenton mentioned, that second half of the season, man, once they gave Bryce his job back, they actually were a relatively decent football team. I'm not going to say good, but when I think like the Jags, they can beat you on a given day, but they shouldn't beat you on a given day. So that said, how you feeling here? 21-3 is the prediction for Kenton. Is that about right?
I'm going to go ahead and agree with Kenton here. Like, they're getting Derek Brown back. He's solid against the run. But at the same time, right now, Cowboys don't really have much of a run game, so I don't know how great he's going to be a deciding factor in this game. It's mainly going to be passing, I'm pretty sure. And the secondary is just, as they said, the secondary is just not there. And I got way more confidence in the Cowboys offense and defense than I do in the Panthers altogether. So I'm sticking with Kenton here. I'm rolling with Kenton. Thank you, Kenton. I appreciate agreeing just a little bit, at least for the time being.
I have to do it here. Fine. You get one out of me, Thunder. You get me. I have to give them one here. And it's honestly not that I don't think they can lose this game, because I genuinely think they can. I just don't think that they lose back-to-back to the Jets and Carolina. They might lose one of them. And truly, I believe they will lose one of them. But I'm going to split those 1-1. So I'll go with a win here. I just think you're starting to get into desperation mode. You drop this one. The morale is gone. The fan base is gone. The playoff picture is starting to be gone. It's just everything is going to be bad here. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys to find a way to get a win here, guys. We're scrolling on through to week number 7 and a tough test, but thank God after 2 weeks back-to-back on the road, you finally get to come home for one. You got Jaden Daniels and company pulling up 4:25 p.m. Eastern time in that midday window. Thunder, I'm sure you have some experience watching Jaden Daniels. I'm sure you know how good he is as a quarterback, and I know you love your team, but can they stop Jaden Daniels?
So, yes, Jaden Daniels, tremendous, unbelievable. I was happy to have him in fantasy last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still giving the win to the Cowboys solely because Washington's defense has taken a tremendous hit, man. Like, they lose Fowler. They use Dante Fowler, their leading sack guy. They lost Jonathan Allen as well. They've lost a lot of people. It makes it a very shaky defense against them. Plus, it's Washington, the team that the Cowboys practically own. If there was any team in the division that the Cowboys own, it's Washington. And that's why I just feel, even though the offense could possibly keep him in there, like I believe maybe this year we could see something special from the other McCaffrey, from Mr. Luke here. Could be Luke and good. But I just don't have too much faith in that offense at the moment, especially not at home. And I feel as soon as they get home, the Commanders, what do they call it? The Commanders laundry staff is going to be washing tons of tears out of these players' uniforms. So that's
we
got a dub.
I got to comment on two things that you said here, Ken, before you jump in here, my man. First of all, you mentioned Luke McCaffrey, and I just want to give Luke a quick shout out. We actually got to speak with him at the Reese's Senior Bowl his senior year, and nothing but phenomenal things to say out of this guy. I'm rooting for him. I've been pulling for him. I thought last year they were going to use him a lot more than they did. This has to be a big-time year for him. I don't want to, in any world, folks, don't misquote me here. I'm not saying he's Cooper Kupp, but he has the ability to play that way. And I think if they use him like a Kupp, he's a very, very fast wide receiver. His size, you kind of look at him and think, oh, he's not that fast. He's fast as hell. So he's either going to become a deep ball, shoulder fade kind of guy, or he's going to become a quick slot guy. I think if they use him in the quick slot, Luke McCaffrey has a big year. You keep mentioning fantasy football. That's a pickup that I like in those later rounds when no one's kind of paying attention. So thank you for mentioning that. However, Thunder, that's your compliment. Now you're not compliment. Kenton, I got to ask you about it. He said that the Cowboys own the Commanders. That might have been true for many, many years. But now that Jaden Daniels in town, do you believe that that's going to remain?
Nope. I do not. I think that, for one thing, Jaden Daniels came into the league, guns a-blazing, led his team deep into the playoffs, and I am expecting the exact same thing this season. And not to mention, sure, their defense took a hit, but their offense has grown a little bit. They picked up Deebo Samuel. Now, I know Deebo Samuel had a rough season last season. Nonetheless, I still think that he could be a very, very strong wide receiver for the Commanders. Now, you brought up the defense, the hits that the defense has taken on the Commanders. To that, I say, I don't think the Cowboys' offense is going to necessarily keep it close enough, regardless of the hits that the Commanders' defense may have taken. I still think that the Commanders' offense will lead the charge and make it a win for them.
Fair enough.
Yeah, this one's interesting, man, because I do agree with, all these narratives that you're seeing right now about, Jaden Daniels is going to have a good year, but it's not going to be as good of a year. People are figuring him out, blah, blah, blah. Well, we kind of said that about Lamar Jackson. And bro's still dicing up everybody he plays. You know what he's going to do. You know where he's going to go, and he still does it. So if Jaden can find that rhythm by this time in the season, I think Dallas is in big, big trouble here. I know you got your guys that you overpay, Thunder, but this one right here, there's a lot of ways they can beat you. I mean, guys like Eckler, I still can't believe they got guys like Eckler out here as a running back. Eckler's your running back too, the dude who murdered as an RB1 in LA. Like, I just really, really like this Commanders team in general. Their defense is great. Their coaching has been great. Their offense is great. I'm sorry. This is a big-time win for Jaden Daniels and company. And Thunder, like Kenton said, it might have been a fun run for you, my man. Maybe you should start exploring a new team, because this team ain't going to be owning nobody for a long time to come. So
that thought has crossed my mind, but I've come too far. I can't.
I understand. You're probably one of those guys that's got like seven Cowboys jerseys, and one day you just lose your mind and burn them all. Yeah, I've seen those.
No,
videos.
I actually only have one, and it's an Andy Dalton jersey. And I got it at the game that Dak got hurt at, and I've never bought another jersey because of that.
There you go. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. If you guys win the Super Bowl, we'll buy you a new Cowboys jersey. But I like my odds on that bet. So anyway, moving on through here, we got the Denver Broncos in the very next week, and Bo Nix versus Dak Prescott's going to be one of the more fun matchups. This one's going down Sunday, October 26th, week 8, 2:25 window on CBS at the Mile High City. Kenton, my man, I'm a Bo Nix guy, not a Dak guy. Doesn't mean they're going to beat him. Maybe not. But the Denver defense, anyone that pays attention knows they are very legitimate, arguably the best cornerback, safety, all-around trio in all of the league right now. But hey, I mean, Steelers making moves. But, it is what it is. Not quite there with the Denver Broncos. Between being at home, having the better quarterback, and having the better defense, this one's not too tough for me. Denver is going to have a couple choke games. This just isn't one of them. Give me the Denver Broncos here in this one. Kenton, are you with me or against me?
Absolutely, I am with you. Bo Nix and the Broncos shocked the league last season. We had people saying that the Broncos were not going to get more than 4 or 5 wins, which I'm going to be honest, I thought that was kind of crazy from the start. I didn't think that they were going to make the playoffs. I'll be honest. My faith was low at the beginning of last season. But with that being said, Bo Nix has balled out for a few of these games, and I think he is going to continue to do so next season, especially with what they have continued to build. They've picked up Evan Engram. They picked up J.K. Dobbins, and they still have Cortland Sutton, the wide receiver, with incredible hands. I'm looking forward to seeing some insane catches this next season. I think this is a Broncos win.
Kenton, I know you are a Bronco guy, so I do got to ask you very quickly about the running back situation. Are you concerned? We talked about Javonte Williams returning and being back here in Denver. We also talked about Amarion Hampton being passed on by the Denver Broncos, which we just couldn't believe that on NFL draft night. Are you concerned here that they got to go too much on Bo Nix, which makes things a little bit too easy on Dallas?
I mean, there is that concern. One of the biggest issues with J.K. Dobbins, of course, is injuries. I'm wondering if at this point in the season, week 8, is he still going to be healthy? I am going to choose, and maybe this is not the right decision, but I won't lie. I'm a little biased towards the Broncos. I'm going to choose to believe that J.K. Dobbins will still be healthy for this time around. And I think there are still some improvements to be made in terms of, how we can handle the run game and, considering the O-line for one thing. But I'm excited to see what Denver can do with J.K. Dobbins. And I believe that he is a significantly better running back than what we have had in seasons past.
That's fair enough. Thunder, are you rocking with your boys here to come on the road? This very well could be a season-turning game. If you can walk into Denver and take down Bo Nix at a midpoint in the season when things might not be going so well, could be a big win. Do you trust your guys and the veterans on this team to get this one done?
I think they're going to go in there with some passion, definitely. Hopefully, at least. Hopefully they don't cowboy it up and just not show up for a change. But with that said, sure, Broncos kind of got a weak run game. J.K. Dobbins probably going to be adding some stuff to that. They got some massive weapons, though. These are huge guys. One-on-ones on this team, very dangerous to get into defensive-wise. That is a horrible matchup to be going through into this team. But at the same time, when you got the PlayStation 2 out there, just straight up putting you in moments where it's like, is this a touchdown? No, this is Patrick. And then boom, deflection or firmly grasping some interceptions. And that's why he's Patrick Surtain. That's why he's the PlayStation 2. And so even though it pains me to say this, I'm not going to be that Cowboys fan and say yes, it's going to be a W. No, I will agree that the Walmart back team comes out with a win here, and the Cowboys going to be taking an L. It's going to be pretty sad times for me. I'll be getting a lot of calls from my friends being all from my Colorado friends being this is a team that this is a horse team that the Cowboys couldn't saddle. And I'm going to be oh, this is sad, but still.
I appreciate my team that win.
Go ahead, Ken.
I'm just saying I appreciate you giving my team that win. I respect it. I respect it.
I try
the problem now is the pressure is on Denver in this game because this is one of those ones you just can't let slip. And I just said, I think it's a big win for Dallas, and I think it's a really bad loss for Denver if they let it go. So it's just one of those, a lot of stuff riding here in this one, but I'm going to join you guys, man. This guy right here, I have been on this dude since college. I was massive on him at Oregon. I took him both times, might I say, pat on the back, to take down Michael Penix Jr. in Washington, the only quarterback to do so. And I just really, really like Bo Nix. I loved him in the draft. I thought he was a steal when they got him there, kind of in that later part of the first round, mid-late. And now all of a sudden here we are. Ken, you mentioned it, man. The expectations were not high. I didn't really understand that from the get-go. The defense has always kind of been legit. The offense is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. The running back room's a little scary. And as good as Courtland Sutton is, I've been saying for years, dude, they got to get the guy some help because these little pieces here and there, it's just not good enough. You let Jerry Jeudy go, which honestly, good move. I always thought he was overrated, but they never really replaced Jerry Jeudy. So I mean, they tried, right, with some cheaper options, but I'd like to see a big-time wide receiver take his butt over to Denver. I was hoping Cooper Kupp in the offseason. I thought that would have been real sneaky, but obviously Seattle went ahead and locked that down. So anyway, I'm with you guys, man. Denver Broncos, we're going 3-man clean sweep here for Denver in the Mile High City. Then you move on through here. The last game before the bye week, you get a nice little 8-day gap. You come back home, Monday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. Kyler Murray and company are pulling up. We were debating about the Arizona Cardinals the other day on one of the other shows, but we're going to dive in here on this one. Kyler Murray coming into Dallas, a lot of experience. These two teams playing each other. I know people are kind of out right now on the Arizona Cardinals. Thunder, with your boys coming off a really tough loss in Denver, getting the extra night and looking ahead at that momentum going into the bye week. Do you think your boys let this one slip?
it's very scary because they very well could. It's the
Wow.
Cowboys we're talking about, but especially kind of considering that like Cardinals, they picked up Josh Sweat, they picked up they picked up David Tomlinson as well. Like they pretty bolstered their line there. The defense got some upgrades, especially with Jonathan Gannon. Like that guy knows how to build defenses. He is a defense connoisseur. He's amazing. He knows how to develop stuff there. Plus, you got like some of the impressive weapons. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. You got Trey McBride. You got James Conner, not Josh, my bad. You got James Conner.
Mhm.
So the potential could be there. I could see potentially the Cardinals putting in an effort, but Cardinals are very inconsistent, turn the ball over a lot. So I like to see that the Cowboys come back off of this loss and get off of the last week's loss and get a W. Come away with the win. And I'm going to be happy watching that Scooter Magruder video.
Kenton, I got to ask you, man, this feels like the death spot for the Dallas Cowboys. If you lose this one, going into the bye, Arizona Cardinals, a team that a lot of experts have picked as a bottom 3 team this year, is this the end of the Dallas Cowboys season if they drop this game?
I mean, if they were to drop this game, I think it could be a clear indication of the end or the beginning of the end for this season.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I'm very close on this one. I was going 50-50 back and forth. I still kind of am, but I'm going to give it to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys can sneak a win away here. I think the biggest threat that the Cardinals have against the Cowboys is James Conner, but I don't think he alone is going to be able to win this game for the Cardinals. I think that the Cowboys will be equipped enough to come away with a very close win against the Cardinals here.
Oh, man. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be one of those schedule predictions that I might look back on and just be so far wrong, but I do not care. I'm going with what I feel like, and I feel like Arizona pulled this one out in a nail-biter, horrible L, had it in the bag, up 10 points going into the fourth quarter. Dak starts being Dak. They kind of get sleepy. Kyler Murray drives down, gets it done, goes down 3, and all of a sudden we're in a football game. This could even be an overtime kind of game for me. And you know what, man? I have more faith in Kyler Murray than the average guy on the street right now. So I'm going to rock with the Arizona Cardinals to find a way here. It's one of the last big wins that I have on the Arizona Cardinals schedule because the second half of the season, I think with James Conner carrying 90% of the workload, they're going to wear out. They're going to be in trouble. But this is a spot to bury a team that they very much hate. When I lived in Arizona, this was the game, bro. We pulled up to this game like no other game every single year. I don't think that they let this one go. So give me Kyler Murray jumping straight off of the PS2 and in to the game and getting the W. No film needed. It's the Dallas Cowboys, so it's all good this week. So give me Kyler Murray and the boys to go ahead and get this one done. Thunder, I'm sorry, brother, but once again, if you guys haven't added it up yet, this is the end of the year for the playoff chances, in my opinion, for the Dallas Cowboys because they ain't winning out. So let's just go ahead and get that one right out the way. But we're looking at a Week 10 bye. Then all of a sudden, they bounce right back with the Las Vegas Raiders on the road, another Monday Night Football game. So 2 back-to-back, technically, if you count the bye week. If you don't count the bye week, this one at the Raiders, you got Ashton Jonty, a player that the Cowboys wanted very, very bad. Rumor was Jerry Jones was going to make a move. He had this guy circled as his next Ezekiel Elliott. This guy was supposed to be massive. And the Vegas Raiders came in and said, yeah, thank you very much. Let's not play around here. We need a running back. Geno Smith, Pete Carroll should be vibing by week number 11, the Las Vegas Raiders. Thunder, you have them coming off a big win. You have a long-term break. Is this a good statement win to once again keep that momentum going? Or could this game be a lot scarier than it looks on paper?
So I think it is going to be pretty scary no matter what. Like I said in the Chargers video, I think later in the year, Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, they're going to start like piecing things together yet again from their time in Seattle. Plus, you got Bowers being an unbelievably strong tight end. Like the guy came out of nowhere, did amazing. The only thing that I kind of falter on a little bit that kind of gives me hope is their defense, like Max Crosby, Mad Max is freaking amazing. Like he's definitely going to be a game effector. He's going to affect the game. But the other parts, like kind of middle of the pack in the defense, give me a little bit of hope. So even though it may seem like the Cowboys fan in me coming out, I'm going to stick with my hope that coming off of the bye week, you got the boys refreshed, you got them feeling good, and you squeak. I will admit, you probably squeak by a win on this one. I think this is going to be a very like drop deadly game and just complete squeak by the win on this one. I feel like, hopefully.
Kenton, are you in on this being a close game, or does this kind of have blowout written all over it for Dallas?
I could see it being a close game. I don't think it's a blowout either way. With that being said, you take a look at the schedule here. The Cowboys got a very rough schedule coming up, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think this Raiders game is going to be the beginning of the end for the Cowboys. As you stated, Riggs, the Raiders have made some very good offseason moves. They're building a team. And look, I'll be honest, I'm a Broncos fan. Don't like the Raiders. I really, really would love to give the Cowboys a win this week just so that I can say, bye-bye, Raiders. Try again next time. But my brain is just telling me with the moves that the Raiders have made, I think they have the potential to do well this season. And I think they are going to have enough to beat the Cowboys for sure.
Dealer, double down that. I'm right there with Ken in this one. I'm rocking with the Vegas Raiders, man. I'm not a Raider guy in any way, shape, or form, but there is something brewing there, man. Max Crosby has had opportunity after opportunity to go be on a team and win football games, and this dude is loyal to the core. They finally bring him in a new coach that's much needed. They get him a new quarterback that's much needed. They've made some good moves on defense. They have a new running back. Week 11, I mean, this should be right when these guys are playing their best football. So I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a high-scoring game, I think. I think it's going to be Dak and Geno going back and forth, back and forth. Geno has some turnover problems, but so does the man right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Geno just to get one up on him late. I think we get one of those prime, they try to write me off kind of things with Geno after this one. I'm going to go ahead and take Geno Smith and company to find a way. I'm actually going to go game-winning drive here. Daniel Carlson with a nuke from downtown. Give me 54 yards for the win here. Bye-bye, Dak Prescott. The L's just keep stacking for the Dallas Cowboys. But moving on through week number 12, like Kenton said, things are starting to get tough. You are now Sunday, 6 days later, in that afternoon window, 4:25 p.m. Eastern on Fox in week 12. Philadelphia Eagles, this time coming to you. You've already played them once. You figured out the kinks a little bit. We all took an L for the Cowboys in week number 1. I got to ask you, Thunder, are we looking at a sweep?
No, I do not believe in the sweep. Hardly any team, but to be fair, hardly any team in this division, unless you're going up against like the Giants, hardly any team in this division gets swept by the others. Like they are very good at going back and forth with each other. So this one, I do think it's going to be close just because like, even though I said at the start of this video, like I said at the start of this video, Eagles sometimes start off shaky, but getting towards the end here, most likely going to have everything figured out, but still hoping that Dak pulls out some of his Dakness because he has pretty good Dakness. Let me go back on that. His good Dakness comes out a little bit and makes good on his positive record against the Eagles because he's pretty good against the Eagles. He's got pretty good. Plus, you're at home this time. So I'm hoping, again, possible squeak by, possible another Brandon Aubrey kick from like 60 yards out, squeaking us by, and I have a nice time rolling into the holidays, being happy.
Kenton, I don't know if I'm the only one that heard it, but that sure sounded like a guy trying to convince himself that his team has a shot in this game. And I don't even think he believes it.
Stay positive like that. Sometimes, like I wake up every morning, I lie to myself. I look myself in the mirror and I'm all like, dang.
Hey, you guys, to be fair, wait for the Steelers one. Tune into that one. And if you want to see a guy defending his team, I got you. I get it. I just got to give you shit because I just don't think that you guys have a shot here. It could be close. You guys could start off this game hot. It could be a 10-0 kind of game. Can the Eagles make their way back? I definitely can see it. Like I said, at this point, I think you guys are fighting for every single win physically right now, or you're cooked. So probably another spot where you got to find a way to win it. I just don't think it's there. I will give it to you. I said a potential double-digit win for Philly in the very first game. I'm going to go with a much closer one here. I'm thinking Eagles by around 4 points. I think it's a ball in the Cowboys' hands kind of thing, going down. You win if you score, and I just think this Philly defense that's so damn good gets the big-time stop. Dak's not that guy. If it's 80 yards, they're cooked. If it's a punt return, 45 yards, maybe. I just don't think so. So a much closer game, but I'm going to go 31-27 Eagles here.
Yeah. I honestly, you can just go ahead and copy paste what I said week 1 is going to be the same problems. And I think the Eagles are going to have a comfortable win here. Again, I don't see the Cowboys really coming away with a win here. I don't think it's really going to be close either. I'm not saying it's going to be a complete blowout. I'll give you that. But I just see it going about the same way as it goes in week 1, which is a decent win for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, Thunder, good luck, my man. I wish you the best.
Yes.
This day, I will say, this would be some big morale for you, at least as a fan. You'd at least be like, you know what, we suck. We're not going to the playoffs, but we beat the Eagles once. So, there's that. Anyway, though, now you are back at home. Thank God. You better count your lucky stars, but you got 4 days to prepare for Patrick Mahomes, and you can't look past the Eagles spot. So you got to take on the Eagles, not look past them, then take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And whatever you do, don't look towards the next game because it only gets worse. So anyway, here you're back at home, Thursday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes comes to town. CBS and Paramount Plus. Why they put games on Paramount Plus, I couldn't tell you. But here we are. Go ahead and buy your subscription. Kenton, looking at this one, my man, they lose to Philly. Do they have a shot against Patrick 4 days later?
I would like to say that they have a shot. I'm not going to shut that down. Again, I am a Broncos fan. I personally really, 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 really do not like the Chiefs.
You're going to need it.
Especially in this past season. They had a lot of controversial wins, as I mentioned in the Giants show. And I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to say it. Last year, a lot of their wins, I absolutely thought should have gone the other way. But I digress. As I said in the last show, the Giants show, the Chiefs really cannot be denied as much as I really don't like them. They got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. They are Super Bowl contenders consistently, and they have that Chiefs voodoo magic that gets them these ridiculous wins that should not be happening. And I believe what we will see here is probably just another display of Chiefs voodoo magic. It's going to be a close game that the Cowboys could honestly get close, very close to winning. Maybe even by the last few minutes, people are saying, "Oh, this is a Cowboys lock for sure." But then just in the last few seconds, you're going to see some BS, and the Chiefs are going to come away with
the punt's gonna skim the guy's head on the way down. Thunder. You've been there before.
Exactly.
So, okay. So not a win for the Cowboys, even though deep down you might be pulling for the dub here for Dallas, for one of the rare spots where we're pulling for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. In this situation, in any situation where a team is going against my divisional rivals, my heart's going to be cheering for the Cowboys in this situation, but my head is just saying it's going to be the Chiefs.
Thunder, you need this one, my man.
Yeah, definitely need it. Definitely need it.
At least you're home, back to back.
This is true.
This is true. He's got to come to you.
At the same time, I know I picked them to beat the Raiders, but I got a sad feeling that it's just going to take one Raider or former Raider to break my heart and leave my face red on Thanksgiving. It's going to be very sad. So I would like to believe they could do it, especially considering the Chiefs defense, fairly good, but secondary not too hot. Pass rush, not too impressive. I know they've made some improvements on that, or at least trying to boost that up. But at the same time, and a lot of people will get this, it's freaking Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They find ways to win. That's what that's what a good, solid football team does. You just find ways. And it's going to be sad. I feel like Chiefs are going to come away with a win on this and just make me feel very sad. I'm going to be sad eating that day.
Yeah. I'm going to be eating too, but I'll be happy eating. So that said, man, look, this is a very interesting spot because at this point I have the Cowboys bleeding. I mean, they're losing close ones. They're right there with the good teams. They're losing to the bad teams barely. It's just a really tough spot for me. So low key, I mean, I think this is kind of like the Eagles game. I think it's a game. I think there's a shot. The short week being at home, that helps you a little bit. But to fade Mahomes on Thanksgiving and take Dak, like I'd have to be in some AI multi-universe thing for me to do that. So I'm going to go Kansas City, but I'm going to once again say we're looking at another about 4-point game here. It could be Kansas City late cover. Then, they win by 11. But I think it's close throughout. Kenton mentioned it. They had a lot of fraudulent wins last year. I know Bryson Owens is all over the fact that he thinks Kansas City's done with that BS playing things close. He thinks they're going to start kind of putting the rock down on teams in the fourth quarter this year, and they're going to start stomping on them. Maybe, but I'm going to say it's close. I'm going a 4-point game going into the fourth quarter, and I just don't think the Dallas Cowboys have enough in the tank to get it done. So Chiefs here for us. And then 7 days later, you just lost back-to-back at home to two absolute monsters from the Super Bowl. Now you got to go on the road Thursday, December 4th, week 14, Prime Video, catch the concert after the game, and take on Jared Goff and company in their stadium. Lucky it's indoors, which favors both of these two teams. They're both looking to get it done through the air. You'd really like to see Goff go outside, but that's just not possible in this game. So that said, Thunder, looking at this one, my man, the Detroit Lions. You need this one. Hey, Jared Goff, he does make mistakes sometimes against those ball hawk kind of defenses. Could this be a game where your defense kind of wins this one for you?
I'd like to believe it, but I'd be lying if I said that it would be absolutely 100% guaranteed, especially when you got freaking Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles back there being tremendous. Cowboys run defense is not good at all. Again, hopefully they have improved it. I know they've made some moves to improve it, but right now I just don't believe that they're going to improve it that much. And then on top of that too, you got to worry about St. Brown, and you got to worry about the Lions tight ends as well. Not Hawkinson, who's the
Laporta.
Hutchinson should be back on defense as well. So the defense, it's spelled sad for us. I hope it's not going to be like the game last year, but I just don't see them coming out with the win on this one. It's going to be sad. It's going to be nail biting towards the end of the season in my mind.
I'm going to go very quickly before Kenton because you just mentioned every reason I was going to give you. They can't stop the run game. They can't stop them through the air. They, on the other side, are going to have a tough time through the air. Yes, maybe you get Pickens and CD doing a few things across the middle deep. It's the one spot I've given the Lions crap for, so dating back to last year, was they get beat on that deep crosser, 3rd and 26, and they let you have it. I just don't understand it. Maybe they fixed it this year, but like you mentioned, Hutch is coming back. That pressure wasn't coming last year. Dak Prescott is about to get eaten for dinner. I'm not actually really that high on the Detroit Lions, but I think the last 2 weeks they give it everything they got and they don't get it done. They go on the road here. This is a shit kicking right here. I'm going Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell don't kick field goals. He don't kick field goals. I'm going 35-14 Lions to get this done. Sorry, it's a blowout.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Riggs. Unlike you, though, I am kind of high on the Lions. As I mentioned, I am a big underdog story kind of guy. They haven't been able to get a Super Bowl, and every year I'm just rooting for them. I want them to get that, aside from my own team, of course, Broncos are number one for me. But I would love to see them go deep into the playoffs, win a Super Bowl, get it done. And they've done very well in the regular season. They were competing for the number 1 seed last season. They are just continuously a threat. But
also falling short.
Although they are falling short, yeah. The Lions and Dak Prescott have something in common. Playoff chokers. Gonna say it,
He's an everyday choker, but I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
I would agree with you on that as well. But in this game, we got Gibbs, David Montgomery. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
GG.
I mean, honestly, I don't see it being close at all for the Cowboys this game. I think there are too many weapons on that offense. That offense is a powerhouse. And I don't think the Cowboys have a strong enough offense themselves to really compete with that. So, as you said, around 35-10 is what I think the score will be. If the Cowboys really can do anything, we'll see what happens, of course.
We will see what happens. Thunder, I am sorry, brother. We are just picking. I mean, we are picking apart your team, my man. So is there anything at this moment in the season that you'd like to say as a Cowboy fan? Because things aren't going well. You're probably out of the picture. Is it time to try someone else at quarterback? Do you have to wake up Dak and put him on the bench? Do you pay him too much money not to make him play? I mean, what are you thinking here as a fan? If they are as bad as we're saying they are, is there moves at this point in the season very quickly that you'd want to see them potentially make?
I mean, there's always moves that I want to see them make. There's always moves that I dream about them making. But do I believe Jerry's ever going to make the moves? No, I don't. Like, I know you mentioned, like, Jaunty. Like, I remember, like, the Raiders picking Jaunty, hearing all the stuff, being all like, oh, Jerry's going to make the moves for him. He's going to trade to get this running back. And in my head, I'm like, no, he's not. Jerry doesn't make moves like that. So, and like I've said before, I like Dak, but I do agree. I do not believe he should have gotten that much money. And because he's gotten that much money, I feel like that's why we're also in the predicament of having shaky QBs, because you're paying this guy an exuberant amount of money. You can't go out and look for other people.
Yep. Isn't that funny? You pay a guy to lose, then you can't afford anybody to bring in to win. It's just funny how that goes. Yeah. Anyway, okay, moving on through here. We're going to zoom through week 15 and week 16. I want you guys very quick picks. If you have something you really want to state, go ahead and do so, but I will go first here. You are on the road you're back at home 10 days later, week 15, Sunday, December 14th, at home against the Minnesota Vikings. I tell you what, man, I do believe J.J. McCarthy is going to be the starter. I do believe he's going to play well, but this is kind of one of those last spots where I think Dallas might play a decent game. Sunday Night Football, Minnesota Vikings, everything in my gut is pointing towards Minnesota. I love the coaching in Minnesota. I like J.J. McCarthy, and I think the Cowboys are fighting with each other. George Pickens is slamming things, doing things. I think it's fallen off. But you guys pull out a win here. So I'm going to go Cowboys win in week 15. Thunder, what you got?
I'm with you. I'm with you as well. It's kind of like, might be my controversial pick, but I will say, it's all riding on JJ, on Double J. If he comes out the gate doing great, tremendous, I can see the Vikings handing them a loss, but I'm picking Cowboys right now.
And like you're saying really quickly, it's one of those things where we're probably going to change these takes when this comes around. We just don't know what's going to happen with McCarthy. So we're kind of just banking on like what's going to happen in his first time playing football in the NFL. So Kenton, are you with us in this one? Or are you going the other way?
Honestly, like for me, I'm still kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
I think it could be really close. And as you guys said, it really rides on JJ McCarthy. But with that being said, I think JJ McCarthy has the potential to be a good quarterback in this league. And I think with Hawkinson, Jefferson, Aaron Jones, I think that offense has plenty of weapons for him. I honestly see it as the Vikings coming out with a close win.
Fair. Like I said, I'm right there. I'm on the fence, but I had to go Cowboys here, so I don't blame you at all. So Kenton going Vikings, we're going Cowboys. Then looking here in week 16, you got the LA Chargers coming to town here for the final home game of the year and the last home game of the year in total for the Dallas Cowboys, because God knows they're not getting a home game in the postseason. So here you go. You got Justin Herbert coming to town. As you guys know, I'm not a Herbert guy. If you guys watch the Chargers show, we absolutely murdered this football team. They were picked for 9.5 wins, and we were severely on the under with that team. So as much as I want to take the Chargers here, and I really do think they split, so I'm going to give it to the Chargers, but it's only one of these two. I actually, now that I'm looking at it, I probably lean more towards Minnesota than I do the Chargers, but I think Amarion Hampton is going to shock people. I think the Chargers are in contention at this point. They just need this game. Dallas doesn't need this game. Give me the Chargers to find a way here. Kenton.
I agree with you here. I think the Chargers come away with it here. I like how you mentioned Omarion Hampton, but another consideration in that running back room is currently on the Los Angeles Chargers depth chart, we got Najee Harris as the starter running back. So we got two threats at running back, I believe, there. So that's a huge reason why they may come away with the win there. And then that's on top of the fact that ever since Jim Harbaugh has came to the Chargers, they have just been building and building and building. And I think that they are going to continue to have pretty good seasons. So I think I'm going to give it to the Chargers in week 16.
Thunder.
Well, I already gave the L to the Chargers on that Charger video. Like, I do think they could possibly be playing. They could be possibly like playing for something. I'd like to believe the Cowboys could too, but most likely the Chargers are going to be the one playing for something. But Herbert is shaky in those moments. And I'm not too worried about Najee just because Pittsburgh running backs don't really do too great once they leave Pittsburgh. It's kind of like
true.
So I don't think he's going to be a factor in this, but I am giving the W to my Cowboys. Brandon Aubrey coming in as well. Like I believe I said that in the other video.
Fair. Here's my thing. I do believe Najee, as a Steelers fan, he is declining. I mean, it's very clear. If you watched the season last year, Jalen Warren outplayed him the entire season. However, I do think he has one more good year in him, but we're talking about the end of the year, and that does concern me here. I think if we were talking, week 6, I would say Najee plays a pretty big role here in this game. So I'm not going to, slight what you said, Kenton. I do agree with you that I think Najee is going to be decent. The run game in total is going to be decent, but is it going to be as dangerous as it is early? Maybe not. But there you go, guys. Kenton and I going Chargers. Thunder rocking with his boys. Then you got 2 more on the road. Thursday night football. Not Thursday night football. Thursday midday morning football against the Washington Commanders on Christmas Day. The fact that I have to watch these boneheads on both of my holidays really pisses me off. So they'll probably play on New Year's at this point. So whatever. But anyway, that's TBD. At the Washington Commanders, quick one for me. Jaden Daniels schmurders them. I'm going 34-21. Commanders get it done. This is a Commanders team potentially fighting for a home game. I think they have to win out at this point with 2 to go. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels to step up big. Kenton?
I mean, honestly, I think this really depends on how the Commanders do next season. I would like to think that the Commanders make improvements, get even further into the playoffs, and are higher seeded. And at which point, I could possibly see, I might walk this back later. I'm going to preface that right now. I might walk this back in another video. But for the time being, I believe that the Commanders have a potentially strong enough team to potentially have clinched the playoffs at this point. And it's week 17, end of the season. If that does happen, then we could see them benching the starters in week 17, and in which case I would give the Cowboys the win. So it is kind of backhanded. I apologize, Thunder. I'm giving you the win, but it is purely because I'm not sure if the Commanders are going to be as strong at this point in the season just because they're thinking about the playoffs.
That's pretty nice. I'm actually going the other way on this just because Like I said, in this division, unless you're going up against like the Giants, you don't really sweep anybody. Whatever holes might be Washington may have had at the beginning that allowed me to say the boys would beat them, possibly fixed up here. And also the fact that, yes, it is towards the end of the week. I mean, towards the end of the season, maybe resting people, but at the same time, this is Washington and the Cowboys. You do not rest against someone that you absolutely have a disdain for. So I could see them keeping the starters in for a good, at least a half. If they're going to rest at all, keep them in for the half and help take down the Cowboys, sadly handing an L to them and going 1-1 on the year.
Two quick things from me on that. First one, I don't think you sit here in week 17 if you're Washington. I think you're, in my opinion, you are in the postseason. I think you're looking at like 9 wins right now, I think, at this point in the season. I think if you win out, you're probably looking at 11 wins. You're looking at home game. You lose, I think you're probably going to maybe get in there. You might need 1 win just to secure your spot, make sure you're okay. So I don't think they're sitting anyone here. I do want to throw that out there. Week 18 for the Washington Commanders could be a different story. All depends on the situation. But Thunder, the reason I gave you that look, my man, how did you rewind the tape, producers? How did you tell me about half an hour ago that you were the daddy of the Washington Commanders, and then you take them to beat you? I did that. Doesn't come on. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know.
It's home. It's home. The first game is home. First game is home. This one, we at their casa, and you did split 1-1 last year. And this is kind of me throwing a bone. Like, I don't want to say throw a bone because Jaden Daniels deserves it, showing that yes, he's amazing, and it's towards the end of the year, and giving y'all guys agreeing with y'all that hey, times is changing. Times is changing.
Okay. Fair enough. 1 game to go. Shout out Russell Wilson, Tommy DeVito, Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart. Who knows at this point? I'm going to guess, honestly, Jackson Dart, because they're not going to be in playoff contention. They probably want to get the guy ready anyway. Russell Wilson's too damn old to play 18 weeks. So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a win for the Cowboys because the last thing, sprinkles on top of the ice cream, all you want to do is lose. It's all you want to do. You just want to lose, get a better pick, but you're going to win because you're the Cowboys, and Jerry's not cool with that. So I think you got guys fighting for jobs. I think they want to win. They want to go out on a high note. I think you guys beat the New York Giants in New York just because, and I think it is a bad time to win a football game, Thunder.
Sorry. I agree. Like I'm going with the Giants losing this one. Like Cowboys going to sweep them. And hey, who knows how this first inaugural year with our new head coach is going to go. But I think it's at least going to end on a W. So you don't lose to the Giants. You just don't lose to the Giants, man.
You know, it's hilarious. Like I actually think the Giants beat you guys, but I just can see you winning on accident, which is just more funny. So anyway, Kenton, are you rocking with the Cowboys here, man? You got Jackson Dart kind of ending the season on a high note here.
I mean, that is if he starts, for one thing. That's a big question.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, and I say this, maybe that might be too harsh. I was going to say maybe regardless of which quarterback is starting, but that's a bit too harsh. I will say there's a pretty decent likelihood if Jackson Dart is starting. I don't think the Giants come away with it, but they still could. And I said in the last episode with the Giants, I think the Giants come away with a win here, and it's for the same reasons as I said in week 2. The pass defense that the Giants have, the Cowboys don't really have a strong run game to compete with. I think this is going to be a Giants W to end the regular season.
A Giants W to end the regular season. I completely see the dub. Now, fellas, very, very quickly, we are going to go ahead, and this goes for all you guys watching the show. We would love for you guys to comment below. All you YouTube people, we know you out there. So go ahead and give us whatever it is. If you agree, if you disagree, we would love to hear your guys' predictions. Also, feel free to drop your comments if there's any places you very much agree or very much disagree with us. But really quick for us as well, guys, go ahead and add up very, very quickly. We'll scroll through. Please count your wins and find out if the Dallas Cowboys are going to be a playoff team. And then we will reveal what the over-under is for the Dallas Cowboys. But scrolling on through here, starting with Philly, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and count mine out loud just because I can't look, scroll, and think at the same time. So I got a win against the Giants. Win against Carolina, 2. Well, this is getting real ugly. Win against Minnesota, 3, and a win against the Giants. I got 4 wins for the Dallas Cowboys. So maybe I'm a hater. Maybe I am. But Kenton, where did you find yourself finishing up for the 2025 season?
I mean, I think I was ever so slightly more generous than you were. I have them at 5-12 with wins coming against the Bears, the Jets, the Panthers, the Cardinals, and the Commanders.
Thunder.
I mean, I definitely got like the comments. I can see the comments now being like, the Cowboys guy, of course he's going to do that. I mean, I got them 10-7, 9-8, depending on that Vikings game. And I can honestly see it faltering even to more losses that they get. But at this time, I'm feeling the 10-7.
Well, you know what, man? I actually don't think that you deserve any hate if you get hate for that, because funny enough, I mean, first of all, the Cowboys fans are relentless. So if anyone's going to get shit for this, it's me and Ken. But second of all, you're much closer to their actual prediction than we are. I mean, we're basically saying these guys are going to fall completely short, and the George Pickens things means nothing, and Dak Prescott's going to suck yet again. And like, we're basically fading a team that's supposed to be a pushing playoff team. Now, the over-under for the Dallas Cowboys this year, folks, is 8.5. Will they go over? Will they go under? So you saying 9, it's really not that far out there. However, the big question, and if one of you guys objects to this, please let me know. But in my opinion, if you were to ask, is 9 wins going to get the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC to the postseason, especially if they're not beating the Eagles and the Commanders and do either of you guys think 9 wins is going to get them a wild card?
I mean, I wouldn't count it out of the possibilities. I mean, with 9 wins, you're positive. That's what it is. But as you said, there's some very tough competition in the NFC. So I think just the power that those teams show with, the Eagles, the Lions, the Commanders, I think that they will fall short even if they do reach 9 wins.
Thunder, you agree with that?
Yeah, like I'm thinking you got to get double digits because you got Packers, Bucks, Rams, maybe the Niners. Like, there are other teams out there that
Bears
that aren't going to win their division. And like, yeah, I'm thinking you're going to at least need double digits, hopefully, to make it in. I don't think 9's going to cut it. I think 9's a safe bet to make if you're a betting man, like to at least get above.
I mean, look, it's plus money. It's like plus 110 right now on the over 8.5. So if you like it, it's there. I got them at 4 fucking wins. I mean, I would take the under 50 times over. I don't think they might get 6 wins. They might get 7. They might get 8. But for them to break 8 for me, I just don't see it. They have to really win a lot of close ones. They're not a very clutch team. I would be surprised. But that said, guys, the question on the screen, can they, we should say, will they make a deep playoff run? We're going to say no. And the true answer is, will they even make the postseason? It sure feels like the answer is no to that as well. But that said, guys, we are having a lot of fun with these NFL team schedule 2025 predictions. You guys can find all of them on our YouTube channel at The Sports Forum. Got it on the bottom ticker there for you guys. Do us a favor. Click that subscribe button. Drop a like. Drop a comment. Be a hater. Be a lover. We appreciate all you guys. Follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Sports Forum CO. And all you sports bettors, got you guys at Blitz Sports Bets and winnable.com/blitz betting. And finally, the website right there. All of our writers do a phenomenal job. We'd love for you guys to check out the articles. We got baseball previews for you. A lot of NFL stuff coming out, a lot of PGA stuff. So it's a very fun summer. But until next time, Mr. Thunder, Kenton, and myself, this has been What's Your Take? Dallas Cowboys 2025 prediction. Thunder, my man, good luck to you. We'll see you week 1.